Hey guys, today we're going to go over an introduction to competitive programming. So, competitive programming is basically exactly what it sounds like, programming but competitive. And there are multiple different competitions for competitive programming. And in those competitions, you generally get a problem and then somewhere to submit your code, and then you get marked based on how your code performs to different data sets. And there are two main parts to competitive programming. The first part is algorithm design, which is like designing how an algorithm would work. And this part involves a lot of mathematical and logical thinking and is less on the code side. It's more like designing the flowcharts and designing like how the algorithm works. And algorithm implementation is basically after you have designed an algorithm, you know how the algorithm is going to work. Now you just have to implement it efficiently in code. Now, since it's competitive programming, we're competing for speed and efficiency. So you have to make sure the code you write is short and at runtime it's fast. Next, we're going to look at some of the languages you can use for competitive programming. And one of the most popular languages would be C++, since it has a big standard library and is also very fast and flexible. But we're going to mainly go over Python because I don't really know C++. And Python is also a pretty good language where you don't have to sweat over stuff you have to sweat over in C++, like, I don't know, sorting an array or something. You can just use a function for that in Python. So, yeah. And next, we're going to look at Python input and output, just the basics. So, in other languages, you also have like input and output functions. Like in C, you have scanf for input and printf for output or something like that. And in Python, you can just use input like this. You probably know this. So you can assign this to a variable like a equals input. And then you can, so say you want to add two numbers together, you can do a equals input and then b equals, and then you print out a plus b. So this is a very simple little program thing, and we can run it with this command. And now it's waiting for us to input some numbers. So let's just punch in 5 and 9. Oops. Oh, it. Uh, so what happened here is the variables or the program treated the variables like strings. So it sort of merged the strings together instead of adding them. So we just have to turn these to integers. Oops. So there we go. Now that should work. 5 and 9. That returns 14. And whoa, it works. Now, something that you can also do is in competitive programming, sometimes you have to work with large inputs and large, like large amounts of input data. So to avoid having to copy and paste over and over again, like maybe to save time or maybe you're just lazy, you can do, you can write the input in a separate file like this. So you can write 5 and 9 here, and then when you're running it at the command prompt or something, you can add a triangular bracket and then the name of this file, which is input.txt. And as you can see, there's no longer any need for you to paste in anything, which is very good for lazy people. So yeah, I hope you learned something today. Goodbye.